Alrighty, welcome to our 15th episode of Brownsville Tech Live. And today it's a first for this show. We've got three co hosts, actually, a host and two co hosts. In the house, I've got Steve Rodriguez and we've got Doug Blunt, the Apple guru of gurus for the Valley. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Can you guys hear me? All right. Say hello to everybody.
Yes.
All right. All righty. Here we go. I forgot to turn on the mics.
Nah, it's kind of clear that.
Oh my gosh. All righty. Well, as I mentioned to everybody, this is our 15th episode. Today's a special day. It is the day on Tuesday, March 8th, that Apple announced several products, which basically they announced today at Apple Park at around noontime. And they came out with some products. That includes a brand new SE. It includes a iPad Air, a Mac Mini, but not really. It's called Mac Studio. They also came out with a Display Studio monitor. They've done some upgrades to Apple TV, and they also did two minor color upgrades to both the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 Pro. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Doug, can you give us a little bit of a rundown of some of the products as we go through them? We're going to go ahead and flip through our virtual theater once again.
Where's the popcorn?
The popcorn's coming.
All right.
All right. So let me go ahead and flip to the virtual theater for now. All righty. All righty. So,
Okay.
has everybody in the virtual theater now?
Yep. Got it.
All righty. Okay, Doug. So one of the very first products that came out, and we'll go ahead and flip to it. It's the iPhone SE 13. I'm sorry, the iPhone SE. I don't know why I have the 13 on my mind. Give me a second while I get to that. Alrighty, as our theater screen shows, we've got the iPhone 13 SE. And Doug, you want to talk about some of the features of this little phone?
Yeah. So what they did is that, the SE was kind of like this, the redheaded stepchild. Um, it was a, lower market phone, but now what they've done is that they put the M1 chip, the A15 chip, based on the silicone, into that phone. That was missing before. They updated the camera to the same camera they have on the iPhone 13 Pro Max and all the rest of the phones. And they're going to be coming out with a 5G, and they came out with two new colors. It's like a green, and the other one's like they call it Alpine Gray.
Now, is the Bionic chip, the 15, the same one that's in the iPhone 13?
Yeah, it's the A14. It's the A14 chip.
Okay.
So one of the gripes people had with the SE phones, a lot of people still like a little phone. Okay, it's the smallest phone, screen size. A lot of people still like it, but one of the gripes they had was the battery life.
Yeah.
Okay, and the battery life, because of the size, wasn't as good as the other phones. Okay, but now it was on the old chip. Now since they've updated it to the silicon chip, what they call the A14 chip, it's it'll get a lot better. It'll get a lot better battery life now. It'll be faster. Um, it's going to be faster, and they got a couple more colors. And it didn't have 5G before. Now it's got five. It'll have 5G now, and so it's just a total upgrade. So what they did is they just got all their phones all online. They all carry the same chip and the same camera that they use on the iMac 24-inch M1, the iPads, like the Pro iPads, and all the rest of the phones.
Now it
So they pretty
says
much,
here on the screen that it's 1.2 times faster graphics performance than the old SE.
right. That's because of that chip.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking here. If you look at the screen, I mean, some of those photos look pretty phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it looks pretty cool.
They raised the price a little bit. I think the last year they were $399. I think they're $429 now or something.
Uh huh.
But the camera, and of course, you're showing the big time battery life. That's a big improvement. And then the camera is on the same speed, same quality as the other cameras. So
Yeah.
so they have so they're basically all the same phones except they have any size you want.
Yeah, and of course it's going to be 5G, which is
Yeah,
cool, you know. Uh, we have, well, my wife has the previous model and she loves it. I mean, I've always wondered, you know, with regards to size, I mean, some people prefer 4 inches, other people prefer 6 inches,
This is a
but
family show, sir.
it is. I know it's a family show,
All right.
but I mean, keep in mind, I mean, there is. I can see why people would opt for a smaller phone. I mean, it's not like they're gonna make extra large jean pockets for it, you know. So
well, in my particular case, I've always carried a big phone. Okay, when I was working.
yeah,
Now that I'm retired, well, I'm at home, 90% of the time. And so if I want to go in and look at a big screen or whatever, I just go on my iMac.
yeah,
Okay. And or either that or I'll just use Apple Play, I'll just use AirPlay and AirPlay it from my phone to my Apple TV.
yeah,
And
Yes,
so
sir.
I really don't have a need for a big phone anymore.
yeah,
Because I just need something portable, and that's about it. And the prices, we're talking probably $1,000 less than the Big Daddy, the Pro Max. So
yeah. I mean, even your
that
13, which is about $800, I mean, it's still half price for the SC, and you're getting a
yeah,
comparable camera.
yeah.
Now,
It just doesn't have.
one thing I thought was mentioned in the previews that I read, there was some talk that it was going to have ceramic shield, but I don't see that made it onto this
Yeah,
phone.
no, they talked about that too. They've got they improved the screen.
Yeah,
Supposed to be the hardest screen ever. Apple. You know, but it's a new screen they came out with. I guess they worked with Honeywell and they improved the display screen.
now,
That's
one thing
that
that
was
still
another thing.
stayed there
So
was the home button. I thought they were going to get rid of it.
no, I think a lot of people still like the home buttons.
Well, I tell you what, I've got an Android phone, and there's never been a button, but it's a pain in the butt not having a button because there are times where the screen gets stuck or something happens, and I'm hitting the virtual home button, but I can't get it to access. Sometimes I literally have to just press the power button and do a boot. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not all into the absence of the home button. I know that my daughter, we've got a iPhone 11, and I don't think that one had a button either.
The
What?
iPhone 12 doesn't have a button either. That's what I
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, but you
So
get used to it.
See, they had to fix it because everybody's wearing a face mask, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the Face ID wasn't working right with the face mask. Well, now I think next week they've come out and they revised iOS 15, whatever, so it will accept people with a face mask. But hell, COVID's over with now.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they put the home button in. And let's face it, the home button is for teenagers
Yeah.
and old guys like me, and the Touch ID is just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the Touch ID. When I use Evelyn's phone, I always have to ask her, what the hell's your passcode, because it's set up for her, Face ID. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I like it. I kind of like it. I do like this phone, and if I ever get rid of my old iPhone 7, I will probably end up getting an SE this time.
Hey, I
iPhone
was a little.
7?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
iPhone
iPhone 7.
7, sir?
Yeah.
Don't they downgrade or make those phones slower as they get new phones up
Not,
there?
not really. It's still slow as it ever was. I mean, but
All right.
no, it's not bad. What I use it for, it's not bad. It
All
doesn't
right.
have it doesn't have the 3 cameras on it like the new ones do and all that. But I don't take that many pictures. I mean, I've got a photographer in my family, so she takes all the pictures.
Yeah.
So,
You're probably all pictured out. Hey, one thing I was surprised, I didn't anticipate it. I know you and I had talked about it, was the release of an actual iOS. I expected that to happen at the what is it, the WWC conference?
WWDC,
Yeah,
they call it, okay, worldwide. We did developer conference. A lot of people call it WWDC. That's usually going to be in June,
yeah,
the first week in June. Okay, all of them come out about that time. Google does their little thing, Samsung does their little thing, Microsoft does, Microsoft Build, they have about that time too. So, and Apple have that. And, the last couple of years, like today's event was virtual.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, and I would imagine they'll probably do it again virtually again this year because everybody likes the virtual because you don't have to spend all that money on plane fare,
right,
hotels and restaurants and stuff like that.
yeah.
And so the virtual deals have been pretty much a successful deal.
Now
And then
I've
keep
told
on
you that I
watching.
would love to go to an actual event one day, but I don't know if that'll ever happen anymore. You know?
They built, Steve Jobs Theater. I mean, eventually they'll get back doing that, but
Yeah,
they might have it when they had the iPhone event in October. I suspect that will be at Steve Jobs Theater.
yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we have our live chat box open. I just opened it.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, so we've got the iPhone SE that came out. It's going to be $499 retail. So that's going to be released what date, Doug?
I think you can order it as soon as this weekend, and
Yeah.
you get it the 18th.
Yeah. I may be half tempted to get one.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Get
Yeah.
two.
Well, even at
Your
like
wife.
even like you said, Apple Pay, $20 a month. I mean, that's like a trip to McDonald's, you know.
4
So,
months.
huh?
4 months.
Hey, it's just money, right?
All right, it's your money, so go for it.
Right?
Amen.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go to the next product that was released today. It is the iPad Air. Let me get it on the screen. Why can't I have somebody like Tim Cook does that clicks the buttons for the slides?
One day, my friend, one day.
You mean Tim Apple?
Tim
You
Apple,
need a
that's,
producer. You need a producer, Danny.
you know. Alrighty. So basically, here's the new iPad Air. It's light and bright. They say it's charged by the M1 chip. So, Doug, you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, this is an upgrade. You know, when they upgraded the iPad Pro last year, or they put the M1 chip in, and they put the new camera that features the new the camera with the FaceTime, for FaceTime, and this one lagged behind, and this has face it has iPhone the new iPhone 13 camera in it with
Okay.
center stage. And I don't know if you guys know about center stage. The center stage is when, okay, you move around in the room and the camera follows you around.
Oh, really?
Okay, and so they upgraded that, and then they added a few more colors. I think Apple's plan is to all their all their devices are going to have multiple colors. Because that's been everybody wants a purple phone or a green phone or a yellow phone or whatever. And
I think
then
Dan wants a pink phone.
a lot of people like pink phones.
Yeah, like
Okay,
Dan.
Nothing wrong with
yeah,
pink.
yeah, and so it's just a minor upgrade. They didn't spend much time on it. They just said that the fastest iPad Pro ever. I mean, the fastest iPad Air ever. With the best screen. But the big deal is, they come up with a 5G on it too. So if you buy iPad Air with cellular, well, you can get the 5G on that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now it says it's compatible with the Apple Pencil and the Magic Keyboard.
Second generation, yeah, second generation Apple Pencil. Last year, it was only they didn't upgrade it wasn't the second generation pencil wasn't compatible with this iPad Air. So, for
Now,
example, my daughter, she bought an iPad Air last year, and so she had to look around Minneapolis to find an iPad, find a pencil first generation. She finally found one, but you know now she wouldn't have to do that.
what does this mean for the differentiation now between the iPad Pro and now the iPad Air, both having keyboards and pencils? They're both running the same OS Pad OS.
Correct.
So, what would opt somebody to get the cheaper iPad with the pencil and the keyboard versus spending more money on the iPad Pro? And I'm asking this because my daughter wants an iPad Pro for her graduation this May, and so I was dead set on getting her an iPad Pro with the keyboard and the mouse, but now it seems that I may have a cheaper alternative. She may not like it in the end. She still may want the iPad Pro, but for consumers like myself, I'm kind of scratching my head now. Should I get the iPad Air or the iPad Pro?
Comes down basically the difference between the two products is the screen. Okay, the iPad Air has a little bit better screen than the regular iPad. The
Uh huh.
iPad is there again. It's sort of like the entry level. It's like the iPhone SE. It's an entry level iPad.
Uh huh.
For schools, Apple had to figure out a way to crack that problem they've got with Chromebooks in schools. So they came up with a low budget iPad. So that was the reason for that. And I don't think it has the iPads don't have the M1 chip on it. So
Okay.
basically, it comes down to this: is that the screen itself on the iPad Air, it's not as thick,
Right.
okay, and then also too the camera is a little bit better,
Yeah.
okay. It's got the iPhone 13 camera and the M1 chip, so it
Yeah.
runs faster. It runs faster, and the battery life is a little bit longer.
Yeah. Because one of the thought process she has is she has a Mac Air right now, and honestly, it's one of the cheaper models. I think it's like only have a 128 gigabyte hard drive. So she's kind of maxed that thing out. But we were thinking either we were going to get her a Surface Pro or we were going to get the iPad Pro. And so, I may still opt for the iPad Pro, you know. Um, of course,
Surface,
I'm not sure if
they're
there's
pretty.
5G for the iPad Pro, though.
iPad Pro, yeah, there's 5G for iPad Pro.
There is? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's 5G,
Yeah.
but I don't. Do we have 5G in the valley?
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think so.
Well,
No. Well,
I don't
actually,
think so.
uh,
the valley is always the last thing to get updated, right?
yeah.
Matter of fact, I thought I saw a brontosaurus running around here the other day. Okay,
Well,
you know.
I'll tell you what. Last night on one of my other family's podcasts, this is a family business, uh, he had somebody on there who is a city commissioner for Brownsville, but I didn't know what he did in real life, and he's actually a product manager, Doug, for AT&T for the entire area.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I thought about you first of all because a fellow product manager,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think they asked him with regards to not only 5G and kind of changing it a little bit. Apparently, there's plans to put fiber in Brownsville.
Well, we've been through this rodeo before, so I mean, it's who knows. But I mean, look at me. When we worked together, Danny. I was probably the biggest geek of the world, and my phone, my old iPhone 7, I'm not even on Verizon or AT&T anymore. I'm on a 2-bit company called Patriot.
Huh? I've
Okay,
never heard of them.
and I don't. Yeah, and it was $22 a month.
Wow.
Okay, and I don't even have internet.
Wow.
Okay, I have unlimited voice and text, but you know I you know I'm always with her all the time, and I go, well, that's kind of stupid paying. She's got unlimited Wi-Fi on her phone, right?
Yeah.
But there again, my life has changed, and as a senior, I'm at home all the time,
Yeah.
and so we go somewhere, I'm with her, so I'm just going to feed off of her.
Right. Well, it makes
You
sense. Why pay for
know,
two data plans when you don't have to? You
yeah,
know.
and then like we've been going to San Antonio quite a bit, and I mean, if I want to get on the internet, we just the rest stops have Wi-Fi,
Right.
and so she goes in and use the bathroom, and I download everything I need,
Right.
and I mostly listen to podcasts anyway.
Right.
Okay, so it works out okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, 'cause I got tired of paying all that money to Verizon.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's expensive. I mean, I have obviously my data plan through my phone, but I also am still almost done paying for a hotspot that I used prior, and I'm almost done. But I have no need for the hotspot, because I'm just paying an extra $50. Now, one of
Right.
the things that I noticed is, did they transition from the Lightning connector to USB C?
Yeah, it's got USB-C in
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. My
Wow.
daughter got a new MacBook Pro, and it's a USB-C connection. Nancy, my wife, got an iPad Pro, I believe it is, and it has a USB-C also.
Yeah,
Wow.
USB-C. Yeah.
What did you get?
Start with the bill.
I,
Yeah,
I figured you were going to tell me what you got.
yeah. Start with the bill. How about that?
I think this fall when the new iPhones come out, I think they'll transfer those over to USB-C also.
Yeah. Now, explain to me the differences between Thunderbolt and USB C. The connector looks similar, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can put either one in the port. Okay,
Yeah.
Thunderbolt is a little bit, it's quite a bit faster
Yeah.
than USB-C.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and you can put a UB. See, was it? What's the old one? DVI.
DVI.
Yeah, DVI.
Yeah, I think you can put a DVI. On your back of your computer, you can. It has a DVI slot. You can use that for
Huh.
USB-C.
Well, that's very surprising. I mean, I thought that the shift to USB C was for regulatory reasons in Europe, because I know that Apple was forced to go to USB C. Uh, so I wasn't
Yeah,
sure
but
whether it
that's
was.
because all the other phones over in Europe, the Samsung phones and all the Android phones are USB-C.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the EU, they've got everybody's got to be the same.
Socialism.
Socialism at its best.
All
So now
right.
it's socialism at its
Hey
worst.
Dan, does your car have USB-C?
No, it's got USB A.
I have a A and I have a C in my truck.
Oh. Well, mine
Okay.
is a Toyota, remember?
I got an old Nelly, my 2004 Aztec old Nelly. It doesn't have anything. Okay.
Well, you could get one of those lighter cigarette Bluetooth kind of deals,
No,
you know?
I had one of those and that burned out many, many, many years ago.
Alrighty. Let's go
I think
ahead
I'd
and
rather,
flip.
I think
Yeah.
I'd rather get the window fixed or the air conditioning fixed before I would get something like that.
Hey, there's a place out in Southmost that'll get that done for you for $80.
What's that?
Your window, you know?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more severe than that. Matter of
Okay.
fact, I took it to a body shop about 2 years ago, and I had them put a piece of wood in there so the window's up.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
my that was my plan to lose weight. Okay, because you go up to a drive up like McDonald's. Okay, it's really a bitch. You got to open up the door and all that. Okay, it's not like you can roll down you can roll down the window.
Yeah.
Okay, so that keeps me from buying fast food in Old Nelly.
So
Hey,
did it work?
It
the
worked
next.
well. Yeah, not really. They still figure now they have curbside, so you just order the stuff in advance. They just bring it to you.
That's
You
right.
know,
Well,
so
the most
you know,
exciting product they talked about today, at least I thought it was exciting, was the Mac Studio. I mean, I expected a Mac Mini, but I think we got something more than just a Mac Mini. So, you want to talk
it's,
about that a little bit, Doug?
yeah, I think we've had this conversation a couple times that a lot of people, a lot of server farms use Mac Minis. Okay, you'll walk in a place what's that place, Stack Rack or that big place up in San Antonio, and they'll have nothing. They'll have you know, it'd be just like out of the Indiana Jones movie. It'll be nothing but servers in it.
Yeah,
Okay, and a lot of people are using Mac Minis because they're cheap and they're easy to they're easy to rack.
right,
Okay, and so one of the gripes I had with the Mac Mini was that it could be a little bit more powerful. Well, last year they came out with the M1 chip, and that helped quite a bit. But then they also needed to come out. And there's other people that wanted a Mac that they could use other monitors in and still have the performance. A lot of graphics people, the Hollywood. This is not your typical, the typical guy is not going to buy this Mac,
yeah,
this Mac Studio, okay? Because it's got, but God bless them, they put ports. One of the gripes they had on everything Apple's make is the ports. They eliminated all these ports on the MacBook, and now they're back since Johnny Ives left.
Yeah, but
Okay,
wasn't
because
that also a Jobs thing? He had an obsession about wanting one single port for everything.
yeah, but that, he's been long gone. They lost. They finally realized that everybody's got to have a SD card slot. Everybody's got to have USB. Everybody's got Thunderbolt slots and HDMI and all that. So this does everything. If you look at the back, it's got
Yeah, look at that.
four Thunderbolt slots there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the Ethernet, Wi-Fi 6 deal, and then it's got two USB, and then it's got HDMI, and then you got your typical sound deal there.
I
And
am
then you
very
turn around.
surprised that they actually are coming back and introducing USB again. I mean, I know that there's some talk here, probably in the fall, that they're even going to introduce USB back on some of the Mac, the MacBooks. You know?
Yeah, there's still a lot of USB devices out there. If you want a camera, okay, you want a Logitech camera. I don't think Logitech makes a Thunderbolt camera.
No.
Okay, the same thing with keyboards and things like that. I've never seen a USB-C keyboard. For some people still like a mechanical keyboard. And they
Yeah.
like the USB cable on it. They don't want to mess around with batteries
Well,
or anything like that.
actually, you know what's funny? My daughter asked me for a mechanical keyboard with lights for gaming. And if
Mm.
you recall, back in the old days, guys, with typewriters, especially IBM, and the IBM keyboards, they were mechanical. They had the little clickety click. When you typed, you could hear it, right? And apparently, it's a big thing right now with these kids that are gamers. They are buying these keyboards. You can get them as cheap as $40, but you can spend up to $100. It actually emulates a mechanical touch. It's incredible.
And they have all these different colors and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that seems to be a deal right now. There's a lot of podcasters still like the mechanical keyboards. Jason Snell, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's a long time Apple guru that has
yeah.
his own podcast. And Jason Snell's got a mechanical keyboard, and David Sparks, another podcaster, he has a mechanical
Yeah,
keyboard.
I
So
still
there's
have a Logitech keyboard here. It's not those chiclet kind you see now. It's still the old kind, so it has a little bit of a click, but not too much of a click. But
and there's still people out there that some people still like putting a printer, USB printer up to it. I mean, that's
I
kind of old
thought
school,
I
but
thought you were gonna say a parallel port printer.
they throw a SCSI drive on that, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that. You know.
Mega, IO Mega deal.
Oh, I got. Oh yeah, the zip drives.
But you look at the front, go on up to the front
Yeah,
of the yeah. So it's got a couple more, USB ports there.
yeah,
Those USB ports within it, yeah. And also too, it has an SD card reader.
yeah,
One of the gripes I had with the MacBook Pro, no SD card. Now I think they do now.
yeah.
Okay, but so Apple, what they've done is they answered everybody's problems with this machine.
The war.
So this, and then not only that, you can hook four monitors up to it.
Yeah,
And you can hook two monitors up to the old Mac Mini.
yeah,
Okay, because when my Mac Mini, I had two monitors hooked up to it, but it doesn't have the same resolution.
yeah,
Okay, because one's HDMI and the other one is Thunderbolt, I think,
yeah,
and the HDMI runs slower, so you're
yeah.
not going to get the same resolution. But now you do.
Now, one thing that the graphics shows is it's going to come with a choice of two processors, the M1 Max and the M1 Ultra. One of it has a 10-core CPU. The other's going to have a 20-core CPU. And then of course it's going to have a 32 core graphics processing unit up to a 64 core GPU on the M1 Ultra. And let me tell you, right now on our show, the machine that is running the show is running it on 6 cores. So this would be a great one for this show because I'll have almost double the cores. If I go for the cheap route, and of course, definitely 3 times more cores if I choose the Ultra. It's definitely made for people that run video and do photography and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I also too, I think the reason why, the M1 Pro, that was a feature they kicked out last fall with the MacBook Pros. That was an option they could get. Now they got the M1 Ultra, and
Yeah,
I believe very very soon Apple's going to come up with some kind of reality deal.
yeah.
VR something.
And
Okay,
that was
you
what I
look,
expected today. I expected for them to release some AR glasses, an AR mask.
no,
That
that's in
didn't happen
October.
today.
That's a new product, big new product. That's going to be probably in October.
Yeah,
If they do it this year, they may not even do it this year.
yeah.
They may be a year or two away.
Now,
Apple's really no hurry to do VR stuff. I mean, they've invested billions of dollars in VR,
yeah,
and they rewrote their software, so you could do VR, and that's probably one of the reasons why you can run, Mac apps on an iPad and iPad apps on a Mac now, because they want everything VR, and so they came up with this, and this is that Ultra is for the type of people that work at, Skywalker Ranch or something like that. They're not going to sell a whole lot of these, but
well,
there's
it
still,
says that it's
there's
five
a
times
few.
faster than the 27-inch iMac. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm on a 27-inch iMac. I'm a little old.
yeah,
I think mine's about 4 years old, 5 years old, but you know, it's okay for me. But you
yeah,
know, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the guy that works at the studio that has four monitors.
yeah,
Has four monitors, and he's running a graphics on one screen, and he's making music on the other. And, it's the high end user.
yeah,
And I guess they probably figured the Mac Pro was a little bit, the cheese grater Mac Pro.
yeah.
That might be. This is actually faster than the Mac Pro now.
They're saying it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're saying it is.
But it's interesting to note when they closed the event, the product manager says, "Okay, now we've introduced the M1 chip into everything. Okay, except the Mac Pro, and that's for a later time."
Yeah,
Okay, so they'll probably do that at the fall event with the iPhones, or either this time next year.
yeah. Well, the next big thing was the studio display. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, there again, a lot of people when they did you know, a lot of people buy Mac Minis because of the cost. Okay, and also too, a lot of people hook MacBook Pros. Okay, up to a monitor. Okay, and Apple stopped making monitors like years ago. Matter of fact, I think I probably had one of the last ones, and that thing was as big as a house. It was 27 inches, and that thing took two men and a boy to pick it up.
Yeah,
Okay, and yeah, it was huge. Okay, and a lot of people on this pandemic deal, okay, started working from home, and they found out, well, I got this MacBook Pro, but I don't have a display that is equal to it. And a lot of Apple people, you know, Apple fanboys, as I call them, okay, they like the design, okay. So when you bought a Dell monitor, or you bought a what's the other monitor maker, like an LG monitor or something like that, They may be 37 inches long, but the styling, the design was a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Okay, they were always black matte, always black, and the legs were kind of chintzy looking
Don't
and
hit
all
too
that.
hard.
And a lot of people had trouble. A lot of people. So when people started working from home, okay, they wanted something easy, and so that caused the need for Apple to develop a new monitor.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, because everybody's been asking for it for years. So now, you got a MacBook Pro, but it's really easy to hook up, you know.
Well, one of the
And then,
things that surprised me about this monitor is that it comes with the built-in camera. Not just a built-in camera, but the built-in camera that comes on the iPhones and the
right,
iPads.
yeah. So what they've done there again, they standardized their supply chain. Okay, all their devices, like even the iPhone SE that we earlier talked about and the iPad Air, they all use this 12 MP ultra widescreen camera.
Yeah.
There again, they have to adjust to the market. More people are doing Zoom calls like we are right now, and a lot of people using video conferencing now. So, they had to step up their game, and
Yeah.
everybody knew that the Apple cameras on the iMacs and the MacBook Pros were crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so they would go out and buy a Logitech camera,
Right.
okay, for like 129 or something like that, and they would hook it up there. Well, now they've solved that problem, and they got to compete with Zoom and the other guys,
Right.
Zoom and Teams and stuff. And so what they've done now is that they introduced a center stage. Okay, we talked about that earlier, and so now every device has center stage now.
Right. Yeah. That's what it's saying. It's got center stage.
Yeah,
Look at
and
that.
and then also too they want more ports. Everybody wanted more ports.
Yeah.
All your tech heads, all your tech heads, they always want another port.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it's got
and
six speakers.
they put it in front.
Yeah.
Okay, like my iMac now, I've got to reach around it in order. It's a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
A USB or a Thunderbolt or something like that in the back. You've
Yeah.
got to rearrange it. And now what they've got, they put the plugs in the front,
Yeah.
and it's got the SD card spot in front too, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And so it comes with six speakers also.
yeah. Well, Apple's into the spatial audio big time,
Yeah.
and especially, I don't know if you guys know much about spatial audio, but they introduced that about a year ago. For a while there was lossless, and they tried to sell that. It did okay, but not so great. And
Yeah.
then the spatial audio, they're in the process of switching everything, all their music over to spatial audio. And I've used spatial audio. There's a difference. Is it a
Uh huh.
game changer? Probably not. But but now this one has spatial audio. It's got six speakers, and also too, it's got three microphones in it.
All right. Yeah. It looks like a pretty good monitor. So
It's
I
about
know that
1,500 bucks, isn't
Steve
it? It's
was
about 1,500,
interested.
isn't it?
Yeah. I know that
Yeah.
Steve was interested in the Apple TV updates. Could you give us
Yeah.
some
Well,
feedback on the?
all the Apple events always open up with how great Apple TV Plus is, and there's some good programming on Apple TV Plus. I watch a TV show called where it's a space deal. You know,
It's not Space
no,
Force, is it?
no, 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 no. It's a parallel, not parallel universe, but put it this way: the Russians got to the moon first.
Oh,
Okay, and it's ran for like 3 seasons now. It's very very good, and uh, and they have that, and then they have some other programming on there. We watch a couple. There's a one with Octavio Spencer in it that's pretty good, and there's a Servant, and then some other ones. Okay, and Apple, and they've got the money that they can go out and they give $100 million to Denzel Washington and say, hey, Okay, Denzel, produce us a movie that we can show on Apple TV. So he comes back with, the one he's up for 10 Academy Awards, like the Shakespeare deal, not Othello, but Macbeth. Okay. I tried sitting through Macbeth. I could, I had changed it after the first 30 minutes. Okay. But, and they do other stuff. And, Apple's always woke, you know. So you're going to have stuff on there from Oprah and black directors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of these actors in Hollywood, okay, like Reese Witherspoon and some other ones, okay, they give them $100 million and say, go produce it. Sort of like what Netflix does now.
Yeah.
Okay, no strings attached. No
Wow.
suits and no suits involved. So Ben Stiller's got a new one out. I thought, Ant Man, what's his name, Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he did the Shrink Next Door. That was pretty good. And the space deal is excellent. And there's some turkeys, and then there's some really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, they put all their money on the breakfast show. They put, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars in that show. I've never seen it, but it's got some big names in it,
Yeah.
actors. So it's maturing. They're adding more and more. They're adding more and more content to it. But they always wanted to get in. The big deal is they always wanted to get into live sports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you guys are probably not baseball fans like me, but now Apple's going to offer, if there is a season this year, we have a lockout going on right now, but I think they're going to settle it here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to offer Friday night baseball.
Wow.
So it's going to be like ESPN Sunday night baseball, but they're going to show two games, probably one on the East Coast and probably on the West Coast. It'd be like the game of the week, Friday night game
Mm-hmm.
of the week. Okay, and that gives them into live sports. Amazon has tried to get in. They get into the NFL. Okay, and so the big deal with Apple right now, they wouldn't get into live sports,
Mm-hmm.
and so they made a deal with MLB, and so that's the big announcement there,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And there's some new shows coming out,
Yeah.
but they keep on adding stuff on. Maybe one show every couple of months or so.
Yeah.
Not quite as much as Netflix does, but I think the quality on the Apple TV is a little bit better than Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Well, I tell you what. Out of all the products that they released, I think the most quickest one that I personally would go and possibly purchase is the SC phone. Primarily to upgrade the one that I have here for my wife, but maybe even an upgrade for me for my own personal phone. I do see some advantage of maybe an iPad with a pencil. Uh, as much as I would love to get a Mac Studio, especially for my purposes, I'm podcasting 3 shows, it would come in handy, but it's still a little pricey. It's still a little pricey.
pricing. That's a high end user.
Yeah.
And they'll probably still sell a few. Mac Studios with the M1 chip in them. With the regular M1 chip in them.
Yeah.
But they offer a Mac Mini now that has the M1 chip. So
Right.
I guess people just want more ports.
Well, I tell you what, the
I'm
biggest
excited
breaker.
about I'm excited about MLB on Apple TV.
Oh, I know you are.
The Apple TV's got picture in picture on it, so
Yeah.
you could probably watch. I've watched two games, two different games at once, or either that, or I'll have baseball's so gosh dang slow.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't get interesting until about the seventh inning, so I'll have the small screen in, and I'll be watching a movie on something else, or something like that. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about the SE. They got the SE up to a decent deal, and the
Yeah.
iPad Air. I've had an iPad Air before. My grandson's got it now, but um, that's okay. But
Yeah.
I'm leaning toward someday getting an iPad Pro.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
one thing's for sure, for me, right now, I'll be honest, I use Adobe products quite a bit. And I don't know what they've done lately. I pay a subscription
Yeah, I do
yearly.
too.
And it takes Photoshop, just Photoshop alone. I don't know if Diva's having a problem with it, but my problem is for the basic of things right now, changing font size and things like that. The application's awfully slow, and Adobe Premiere, which is my video software, I mean that's slower than a turtle. So and I've got a pretty decent machine, so I don't know if they've monkeyed around with the software, but I'm curious to find out how the performance will be on these M1 processors. I don't know if they've come out with M1 versions yet of their software, but I
They
tell you
have.
what,
They
if
have.
if it improves the speed, I may consider getting something like this. Even it's something with an
Hey
Yeah.
Dan,
M1.
have you noticed the chat? You got a message in the chat.
Yes, got a notice from AT&T, but I'm not sure exactly what the total message was. Oh, oh, hold on. Somebody I guess works for AT&T. I don't know. Yes, we do new towers by 802 close to Walmart. There you go, Doug. It's getting close to you.
Which
Oh, so
Walmart?
there is.
Which Walmart? There's like half a dozen of them.
Yeah, it looks like they're talking about 5G. Wow.
Well, Verizon's got that deal. You probably saw it advertised during the Super Bowl. Was that it looks like a trash can Mac. Okay, you put it, and it's 5G wireless.
Yeah.
Okay, I was in a Verizon store last week griping about my bill, and I asked them if they had that down here. They, oh no, no, we don't have that down
Yeah. Yeah.
here. You know how that
Where
goes down.
I work along the border. I have Verizon for 5 years. Last year, for whatever reason, my phone, and I had an iPhone 11. My phone said, "Welcome to Mexico." I was not able to place or receive any calls. So what I did is I went and I got the new iPhone 12 Verizon. It worked for the first 15 minutes, and after that, welcome to Mexico, and I was not able to get any type of reception whatsoever. So I had to move to AT&T, and I don't have any problems now.
Well,
But
I
Yeah,
would have told you you are in Mexico.
yeah. A lot of
Right,
people
Doug?
say you're in Mexico now. Matter of fact, I have called people and they said, "What's your address?" I tell them my address, and they said, "I'm sorry, sir, but we don't take care of outside the United States." And I said, "No, no, no. Brownsville's inside the United States. For me, it yeah."
Well, hasn't half of Mexico moved into Rancho now?
yeah,
Um, I don't know, but I don't know where people get this money out here. But people are buying these 400, $500,000 houses out here, and I don't know where they get the money. I mean, is it a drug lord, and then his attorney moves next to him, and then his doctor moves next to him, and then his other attorney hooks up to him. I don't know what the deal is, but here I am, Bruce, is struggling to get by here on a Section 8 home in the projects in the Rancho, and 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 we see these houses, 400,000. They don't stay on the market. They're gone in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
well, have you
yeah.
seen the price of houses these days?
Oh yeah,
They've
I
gone
go to
up.
time.
They're
They've
Yeah,
gone
astronomical.
up.
Yeah,
I tell you the truth, guys, I would sell out and just move up north. And but shoot, I can't. We can't afford to live up north.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and we just got the we just get our buddy Biden gave us a big home loan, so we just finished the house. So that's a joke. That's a joke. I paid for all that gay money, but you know,
Oh,
the deal
I
is
think
that
he wants to be a guest on the other show.
Yeah, you should have them.
yeah, if you want to
I
talk about that, I'll be more than happy to be a guest on that.
There we go, Dan. You got them. Hey,
All right. Alrighty. Well, it's really interesting. We've got some good products. I know Steve is anxious to head over to the AT&T store to go get his SE.
Yeah, at 5 in the morning.
He'll be over there at 5 in the morning. Uh,
Order it online. Just order it online. You'll get it
you know,
faster.
yeah. But
Th
anyway,
those phones won't reach the valley till next summer.
oh man,
So I would have strongly advised just go online and order it
yeah. Oh,
Friday.
you're talking about at the retail stores. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
retail stores.
yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
what'll be interesting is that now that these phones come out, what happens is the phones get shifted, the inventory gets shifted over to the second tier cellular companies. So they'll be offering some of those phones for dirt cheap. I think I've
Yeah.
seen some iPhone 11s even out there for almost like zero cost now.
And maybe I can do that with Patriot, my Patriot phone service, right?
Hey,
Patriot
they
phone.
didn't say anything about the Apple Watch.
No, that's not. That won't be till this fall. Okay. And I'm kind of in a market for a new Apple Watch because I swim every day, and
Water
it's like,
resistant.
yeah. I'm having a little trouble with mine sticking every once in a while when I get done with swimming. I set the timer on it. It tells me how many calories I burned and how far I've gone and stuff. And I push down, and the screen doesn't react fast enough. But it's been a good watch. I bought it, I don't know, 3 years ago. It's a watch three. I think they're up to about five now or something like that.
Yeah,
But
no, they're up to 7.
seven, yeah, I think it,
7.
it might be a four, but I've had good luck with it, so I'm very happy with it. But you know, so I'm more interested in the watch more than I am probably and maybe an iPad Pro.
Yeah.
Because they're big and all that. But pretty soon the software, they're updating iOS, the Mac next week. It's going to be universal support, so you can go say you're on a screen on an iPad. If you want the screen to show up on your Mac, it'll show up, and vice versa. You don't have to do any humble jumble stuff with the screens or nothing like that. And then so they're coming along, but if you want a new phone, I would strongly recommend just go online and order it, or just get in a car and probably go to the Apple stores in San Antonio. And you'll probably
Antonio,
Yeah.
there you go, Dan. Road trip.
North Star Mall.
Hey, San Antonio is now since they got the expressway, it's an easy trip now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
yeah, it's pretty good now.
It's a straight shot.
Yeah, yep, it's pretty
Alrighty.
good.
Well, was pretty much the Apple products that were previewed tonight. We'll probably be back sometime in June after the WWDC conference and see what gets released at the time. And I think after that, the next big one is probably around September. So,
About September, you can probably mark this on your calendar. It's probably the second Tuesday in September. I think it should be around September the 17th or so.
okay. All
That's
right.
usually when they have it. They have it a week after Labor Day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and schedule some shows for that time. Unless something pops up between now and June and September. If an Apple car with Total Electric shows up to help us with the rising gas prices.
You may have to have $150,000, but no, that's okay. We'll give you a tax credit for that, right? Little do they
All
know,
right.
in order to
You need him on your other show, Dan. You need him on your other show.
little do they know that these people who buy electric cars, where does electricity come from? Coal-fired plants. Okay,
Well, let me tell
so
you. Let me tell you. Next week's show is going to be about solar panels. We're going to have an expert come in that works for a solar company. But in addition, you're right.
is it our buddy Jason?
No, 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 no. It's somebody that I went to high school with.
Okay, well, Jason on the robocalls.
Uh huh.
How many times do you get a phone call from Jason trying to sell you a solar panel?
Well, I don't answer the my phone a whole lot these days. But
I like, yeah, I'm retired now, so I like talking to people. So, I go, hey, Jason, how you doing? He talks
uh,
to me, and then I hang up on him.
well,
Every once in a while, I say, are you the owner of a single family home? And I go, I used to, but it got repossessed, and now I'm living in a box,
yeah.
and then it screws them up and stuff. So
Well, next week
Diva
it's going to be
just
a good
laughs about
show.
it.
It's going to be
Yeah,
a
she
good
just
show.
laughs about it.
Yeah, next week it's going to be about solar panels, but it's also going to expand a little bit into how electricity is consumed in this country. And you're right, coal is uh, one of the options in energy that we use, and we'll talk about that next week. So hopefully everybody tunes in. It's going to be pretty exciting. So
Okay.
that's it, everybody. That's it for today's show. Like I said, we rolled out, some of the new products that were released by Apple. I thank both of my two co-hosts. It was a first. Hopefully, it won't be a last. And we'll see you next week.
Okay,
Good.
guys. Always a pleasure.
All
Just let
righty.
me
Be
know.
safe.
Okay.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Good night.